As you probably already know, this is a GameCube controller, and it is one of the most loved game controllers of all time. So today we're going to find out why. Let's start off with the most important aspect of a controller. Is it actually comfortable? Now, I'm used to either the Switch Pro controller or the PS4 DualShock controller. My favorite being the DualShock, though both the Pro controller and the DualShock are pretty similar. So when I used this thing for the first time, I was shocked at how different it feels. It definitely isn't bad, but it's not very ergonomic either. The handles here are too thin. I mean, look at the difference between this and the Switch Pro controller or even the DualShock. It's only about half as thick as either of them, and I personally do not like that very much. The button layout I do really enjoy though. The only problem would be in 2D platformers like Mario, where you can't hold down the run button and be ready to jump at the same time. Obviously, this hasn't been a problem though, because the GameCube doesn't really have any 2D platformers, at least that I know of. Other than that basically non-existent problem, the button layout is fine. The D-pad is really small and feels kind of like an afterthought. It's kind of mushy, and it's also pretty easy to press several directions at once. The C-stick is just bad, and I really don't get why they couldn't have made it full-sized, other than looking and feeling unique. I haven't had an actual problem with it other than it just being uncomfortable and looking a little strange. I'm not really sure who at Nintendo approved the Z button though, because it's kind of terrible. It barely moves when you press it and the clicking noise is almost silent. Also, there's only one Z button. The PlayStation 2 controller, which came out a year earlier, has an equivalent button called R1. But guess what? It also has an L1. And actually, now that I think of it, even the PS1 controller had 4 trigger buttons. I really don't know why the GameCube controller ended up with only 3, but I do know that the other 2 triggers are much nicer. The L and R buttons on the GameCube controller are actually analog triggers, which means that it doesn't just register being clicked like the Pro controller does, it actually registers everything in between. If you gradually press it down and get to the bottom, there's a loud click. I really like it, except for the fact that it kind of feels fragile. I'm sure it's not though, because this controller is 25 years old and still works flawlessly. And unlike the Nintendo 64 controller, this thing has built-in rumble. It's not very advanced rumble, but I personally don't care that much about the detail within the rumble. It gets the job done, and that's all that matters. I can definitely understand why people like this controller so much, and even more so because the unique button layout is really nice, and it overall feels relatively comfortable. I do wish that these were a little thicker, but I got used to it pretty fast. Now subscribe or click on this video. Either of those are fine options.